You're tired. You're exhausted. You walk through your own house like you're a guest who overstayed his welcome. Maybe you've forgotten what it feels like to just be, to make a decision and stand by it without waiting for the nod, the eye roll, or the inevitable third degree. I've seen this exact movie 1,000 times, and the ending is always the same. It starts with a handshake and it ends with a leash. 6 months ago, you were a man with a backbone. Today, you're apologizing for the volume of your own voice. You're counting your words before they leave your mouth, carefully censoring your opinions and asking permission to spend time with the friends you've had for a decade. You think you're being a good partner. You think this slow surrender is love. You think giving up all your power is the price of admission. Let me be honest with you, ruthlessly honest. That feeling in your gut, the one that tells you something is deeply wrong, it's not wrong. You are not making the relationship better. You are systematically killing her respect for you. And worse, your respect for yourself. The problem isn't that you're a bad man. The problem is that you're a breakable man. Every time she pushes a boundary and you let it slide, every time she issues an ultimatum and you fold like a cheap card table, you are sending a silent, devastating message. I am smaller than you. You are the final authority. And in the deep, ancient part of her brain, the part that doesn't care about a nice house or a steady paycheck, that surrender is the most unattractive thing a man can do. You're losing her love one compromise at a time. Stop. I'm not going to teach you parlor tricks or childish mind games. I'm going to give you the blueprint for becoming the man who cannot be moved. This isn't about controlling her. It's about absolutely, totally controlling yourself. If you're ready to trade that invisible cage for unbreakable self-respect, stay with me. Because the first truth I'm about to drop will make you question every romantic movie you've ever watched. The grand lie, love versus pity. The two biggest lies about male vulnerability. Let's dismantle two of the biggest, most emotionally crippling lies men have been told. Lie number 1, the test is malicious. You keep hearing about tests. She's doing this to manipulate you. She's trying to catch you out. That is an incomplete, self-pitying story. The truth is, her testing is instinct. She doesn't consciously sit down and plan a boundary violation. It's a biological, subconscious probe. She's not trying to hurt you. She's trying to find the ceiling of your frame. She wants to know, is he strong enough to hold us steady? When you fail a test, she doesn't cheer. She doesn't think, great, I won. She feels a cold, sinking disappointment. It confirms her deepest fear. The man she chose is weak. Lie number 2, vulnerability builds intimacy. You've been told to open up, share your deepest fears, cry about your problems, be her best friend. What happens next? She starts becoming distant. She loses that spark. She might even be texting her ex. Why? Because you just handed her the job of being the protector. The moment you present yourself as the man who needs to be held, the one who's falling apart, you break the primary axis of attraction. Women don't want a partner who makes them feel safe because he's nice. They want a partner who makes them feel safe because he's the rock. The one person in their life who can be stable when they need to fall apart. When you become the one who needs stability, you swap love for pity. Pity is a beautiful, compassionate human emotion, but pity is the kryptonite of attraction. It is biologically impossible to be deeply attracted to someone you feel sorry for. Your job is not to be her therapist. Your job is to be the sanctuary she can return to after a bad day, knowing you won't be another problem she has to solve. Why being nice is the ultimate weakness. If I could burn one idea into your mind today, it would be this. Attraction flows to the man who needs the least. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about establishing the wall of self-sufficiency. Ask yourself honestly, what are you afraid of losing? Her company? Her validation? The relationship status? The life you've built? Being alone? The weak man is constantly trying to earn her presence. He changes his clothes, his habits, his personality, all to secure her approval. He is a beggar, desperate for scraps of validation. The man who cannot be moved operates from a completely different base reality. My life is fantastic with you, but it will be just as meaningful and purposeful without you. This is not a lie you tell her. It is a truth you live. When you are genuinely happy pursuing your mission, your friends, and your hobbies, things she once tried to label as immature or a waste of time, you remove her ultimate weapon, the threat of her absence. When she threatens to leave, and you respond by holding the door open, her internal calculation shatters. She expected panic. She expected pleading. Instead, you calmly show her that she is just a wonderful passenger on a train that was already moving at full speed. You become the one who is hard to lose, not the one who is desperate to keep. This next concept will change your entire perspective on conflict. It's the difference between a debate and a dismissal. The unplayed game. The only thing worse than an insult is an accurate label. The weak man gets dragged into an argument. He debates the facts. He defends his past actions. He tries to explain himself. The man who cannot be moved uses the agreement protocol. When a woman attacks you or makes a dramatic declaration, it is almost never a factual statement. It is a test disguised as a fact designed to make you panic and prove your worth. She says, "I think we should see other people. I'm not happy." The weak response, "Baby, please, don't say that. I'll change. What do I need to do?" You validate the power of her threat. The agreement protocol response, "You know what? I think that's a very smart idea. It sounds like you've already checked out emotionally. Let's make this clean and fast." Watch her face. She was expecting a fight, a chase, a performance. By agreeing, you're not losing the argument. You're refusing to play the game entirely. You've let her throw a punch and fall face first into her own momentum. Another classic example, she says, "You're boring. You're not the man I fell in love with." The agreement protocol response, "You're right. A real man wouldn't tolerate this level of disrespect. I appreciate you pointing out that I need to raise my standards for the people I let into my life. This is not about being a jerk. This is about being a mirror." When you reflect her energy back to her, when you agree to the consequence of her own actions, you force her to deal with the reality she created. You shatter her illusion of control. You show her that her drama has a cost, and that cost is losing you. The identity demolition, how to take away her ultimate superpower. Every woman has a deeply held, non-negotiable belief about herself. It is the cornerstone of her ego. For many, that belief is, "I am unique. I am the exception. I am the prize." You see this in action when she compares your relationship to everyone else's. Stacy's boyfriend bought her a Rolex. Why can't you be more romantic? She's running a comparison where she's always the star, and you're always failing. You need to flip the comparison so hard it spins her reality. When she starts the comparison game, you don't defend your actions. You attack the premise of her uniqueness. You use the ordinary observation. You don't use this as an angry insult. You deliver it as a calm, factual observation on the predictable, unoriginal nature of her behavior. When she starts with the high-drama ultimatum, don't argue. Stop and look at her. Then calmly say, "It's fascinating. You are doing and saying the exact same things my last two girlfriends did right before they ended the relationship. It's like you all read from the same script. You know, I thought you were different, but you're completely predictable." The power of this statement is immense. You've taken her one non-negotiable identity, specialness, and dismissed it as generic. You've labeled her behavior as a tired cliché. She cannot argue with this because you are not insulting her. You are commenting on the pattern. You've removed her from the pedestal of being the star of her own movie and placed her back in the reality of being an extra, playing an exhausted role. This is the ultimate ego demolition because it's not an insult she can rationalize. It's a realization she must internally process. The only thing she truly wants to find. You have to understand the dynamic of boundaries. Women don't want to be with a man who has no boundaries. Why? Because if you have no boundaries for her, you have no standards for yourself, and you have no ability to protect her or a future family from the outside world. A man with no boundaries is a man who can't be trusted. You need to establish the iron line. The iron line is the one thing that, if crossed, means the relationship is over. No discussion, no second chance. What are the common iron lines? Public disrespect, shame. You will not be belittled or berated in front of friends, family, or strangers. Emotional terrorism. You will not accept threats of departure, financial ruin, or using children as leverage. Crossed wires. You will not accept cheating, flirting, or secret communication with exes. When one of these lines is crossed, you do not negotiate, you do not argue, you do not cry, you simply execute the consequence. She yells at you in front of your friends. You don't yell back. You simply stop the activity, walk her to the car, and say, "We are done here." That is unacceptable. We'll talk about what happens next when you can speak to me with respect. I will not be your clown. Then you go back inside. She threatens to leave. You use the agreement protocol and help her pack. When you do this, you are not being mean. You are teaching her the most important lesson of the relationship. My life has standards, and you are not exempt from them. This is not a game you play once. This is the foundation of your character. She must learn that your iron line is not a suggestion. It is a natural law in your life. If you maintain this iron line, you will be shocked at how quickly the disrespect, the drama, and the testing disappears, because she realizes finally that you value yourself more than you value the comfort of her presence. The final lesson, the purpose-driven man. The only way she will chase you. You can use every tactic I've just described, but if you don't fix the core weakness, you will lose. The core weakness is this: you have outsourced your happiness to her. A woman is attracted to a man who is on a mission bigger than her, a mission bigger than the relationship, something that gives his life meaning, a career goal, a fitness goal, a creative pursuit, a community project. When your life's purpose is her, you stop being a man of purpose, and you become her project. And projects are boring. Your attraction levels are directly proportional to your level of purposeful indifference. Purposeful indifference is not an act. It's a reality where you are so laser-focused on your goals, your mission, and your self-improvement that her drama, her tests, and her mood swings are nothing more than a minor background inconvenience. She sends you a cryptic text designed to provoke a panic. You ignore it until you finish your workout, your work project, or your chapter. She starts a dramatic argument right before you were about to leave for your guys' night. You calmly say, "I hear that you're upset. I will absolutely talk to you about this when I return, but I am leaving now. I'll see you later." And you leave. You have just communicated, without saying a word, that your frame, your commitment to your own life, is stronger than her emotional impulse. You've shown her that while you care about her feelings, you will not let them derail your trajectory. This is the only way a man can truly be free. When your life is so rich, so full, and so directed by your own compass, her presence becomes a bonus, not a requirement. And ironically, when you stop needing her, when you stop chasing, when you finally and authentically become the man who cannot be moved, that is the exact moment she will stop testing you and will start chasing you. Not because you played a trick on her, but because you finally became the man she needed all along, the unshakable sanctuary she can respect, admire, and finally deeply love. Subscribe.